everyone, welcome to the fourth unit of Sem-III. This unit entirely focuses on writing skills. So there are three topics that we will be learning in this particular unit. The three topics are connectives, idioms and phrases, and essay writing. So under essay writing again we have two varieties of essays. In this session, today's session, we are going to focus on connectives. Connectives are words or a variety of phrases that can be used to link sentences. They also help us to organize texts, speeches, or write-up. They help us to establish connections within sentences so that there is a kind of a flow between sentences. So they are like signposts. They can be compared to signposts which lead us to our destination. Here these words tend to indicate how one idea leads to another idea and how we can actually anticipate what is going to come ahead. Sometimes signposts also tell us what is going to come next, and we can be prepared for what exactly we're going to listen or read in the coming paragraph or coming sentences. So connectives also are called as transition words, cohesive devices, or connectors, or even linking words. So these are the variety of other synonyms of connectives. Connectives convey different kinds of relation, and then connectives can be classified into categories based on their function they perform. So I have listed out some of the categories that these connectives can be divided into. The first category is sequencing. In sequencing, under sequencing, we have some kind of words like initially, firstly, secondly, lastly, finally. All these words are the words connected to sequencing. There is another category called as adding or additional. So in addition to is a phrase that can be used under this category. When we have sentences, there are two sentences or a sentence that is talking about some kind of a comparison, so we could use connectives like similarly, in fact, etc. The next category is contrasting. Contrasting is another area where you can talk about certain connectives like perhaps, whereas, etc. And another category is illustrating, and under illustrating, the example that I have written out here is such as. There are other connectives that can be used in the form of phrases like in the meanwhile, in the meantime, in fact, etc. So I will give you a list of connectives that you can use in order to organize your ideas for sequencing, to have a beautiful flow from one idea to another idea. So some of them could be well, perhaps, however, initially, finally, surprisingly, fortunately, unfortunately, however, nevertheless, gradually, certainly, in fact, are few of the words that I can gather and recall. In the meanwhile, what you could do is think about a topic and try getting ideas about that particular topic and organize them in a proper sequence, and try inserting these connectives so that your ideas or your write-up or your speech or your presentation becomes really beautiful, and it has a proper framework, or it is properly organized. So shall we try reading some of your some of your connectives, from some of the connectives that are enlisted in your textbook. The words are but, therefore, soon, for instance, surely, in fact, hence, for example, also, however, in the meanwhile, on the other hand, furthermore, thus, for example, consequently, nevertheless, initially, finally, in spite of, take the case of indeed, in fact, besides, likewise, in contrast, true, truly, in addition to, for instance, meanwhile, yet, because, unless, similarly, eventually, alternatively, besides, notably, briefly, both, furthermore, etc. So there are a lot of exercises that are there in your textbook. You could go try your hands on few of these connectives. You need to choose the appropriate connectives and fill in the blanks. They are pretty easy sentences and exercises. Just go and do them, and we'll meet you in the online or offline sessions eventually. So let us recall what exactly we are trying to talk about. Connectives usually help us to organize our ideas. They make our understanding of a particular piece of write-up easy and understandable. They help us to progress from one idea to another idea, from one sentence to another sentence smoothly, and they are the ones that help us to have a coherence of our ideas and thoughts in a properly organized manner. So let me read and compare the two paragraphs A and B so that you have an easier understanding of what difference connectors make in a paragraph. So the paragraph A goes this way. In speech or in writing, linking words are useful in several ways. They help us in conveying our ideas and in a meaningful manner. The linkers make it possible for us to initiate and develop the main idea of a paragraph. They help us illustrate and provide supporting ideas. They make it easy to progress from one idea to another by joining one sentence with another. They facilitate better understanding of ideas presented in a paragraph or an essay. Using too many linkers can affect the structure and coherence of paragraphs. I'm going to read the paragraph B now. This particular paragraph has enough of connectors and has a little variation from the previous paragraph. In speech or in writing, linking words are useful in several ways. For example, they help us in conveying our thoughts in a meaningful manner. Secondly, the linkers make it possible for us to initiate and develop the main idea of the paragraph. Thirdly, they help us illustrate and provide supporting details. Next, they make it easy to progress from one idea to another by joining one sentence with another. Finally, they facilitate better understanding of ideas presented in a paragraph or an essay. However, by using too many linkers, we can affect the structure and the coherence of a paragraph. So it is very important for us to not to use too many connectors unnecessarily. So connectors or linking words can be used properly wherever they are required, because they establish a kind of a connection with various sentences. In your textbook, we have a lot of exercises where you need to choose the appropriate connectives and answer the questions. So let's solve one exercise, exercise number 1, and then thereafter the remaining exercises can be done by you. So the first one is choose the appropriate connectives. Dash, we started late, we still arrived in time. So the connective out here would be, the two options out here are although or in spite of. So the answer would be although. Although we started late, we arrived in time. The next one. Many people in the office tried to help us. They were friendly. The options are to and well. They were friendly as well. Yes. I love carom. Dash, my friends prefer cricket. So the two options given out here are furthermore and whereas. I think, yes, the answer would be whereas. I love caroms, whereas my friends prefer cricket. The next one. Manu wanted to watch the film. He fell asleep halfway through. So Manu wanted to watch the film, but he fell asleep. However is also fine, but the options out here are but and because. So very carefully read the sentences that are given in your textbooks and try to answer the questions. Later on, we would discuss the answers in our offline or online sessions. Till the next class, I wish you all the best and stay safe, stay happy. Thank you so much.